Hi, everybody. Today is July 2nd, 2024. It's my update of my video journal of my recovery from the trauma of losing my little brother, Paul Kierans. Paul was born with Down syndrome in 1958, and he and I grew up together, and we visited at will until I objected to a power of attorney that it's his group home, L'Arche, that's L'Arche, Google them. That's a cult started by two SEX-PREDATORS's Jean Vanier, a retired Canadian naval officer who's been discredited after his death as an SEXPREDATORES, and his sidekick, a defrocked Roman Catholic priest, Thomas Philippe from France. So these two guys got together and started up an organization of group homes around the world called L'Arche. That's L'Arche. After Jean Vanier died in 2019, it was discovered that he had been preying on the workers at these various group homes in his cult, in a cultish type of way, pretending to be affiliated with the Catholic Church, which they are not at all. Anyway, so when I discovered in 2022 that L'Arche had created this fraudulent and forged document appointing my 81-year-old nun sister, with whom Paul or I have never lived, 4,000 kilometers away in Ontario as his substitute decision maker, or his personal representative, I objected, and shortly thereafter L'Arche ordered her to terminate his visits with me, our twice weekly visits. So he was isolated and confined to his group home for 588 days before he died on April 23rd, 2024 at 10:15. And I was allowed to see him after he had a stroke on April 13th, and he was admitted to Burnaby General Hospital. And the 2 days later, the nun flew out. She managed to get her act together to fly out. And I believe that she directed the medical staff to withdraw all medical support and all sustenance for Paul. He was recovering from the stroke. He sat up when I walked in the room. He grabbed my hand. He grabbed a book from my hand, turned the pages perfectly. He made eye contact with me. He seemed very happy to see me. But when I had a court hearing to restore my visits with him, when I came back from court, the nun said to me, without looking me in the eye, she said, "Say goodbye to Paul, he's dying." And he was dead within 12 hours. So I believe she ordered the staff to do medical assistance in dying on him. And just so you know, although medical assistance, disabled people can consent to medical assistance in dying in Canada, as grotesque as that seems to me. And I was, I got my law degree in 91. Disabled people, mentally incapable people, cannot consent to medical assistance in dying. So I've complained to the British Columbia Coroner's Office, and I'm going to complain to the Patient Quality Care. So what I believe they did is they withdrew all medical support. Paul did not have his ventilator on when I last saw him. He did not have a catheter, and I believe that he was sedated to death. That's what, you may think, oh, what a wonderful idea this medical assistance in dying is. But there's a reason why, I think it's the first commandment, is thou shalt not kill. There's a very good reason for it. So anyways, I had a meeting with my trauma counselor this morning, which went very well. It was very productive. I pay for it out of my own pocket. It costs $157.63 with taxes, and I can only afford to go once a month. But I find it's very helpful. It's bad enough to lose a loved one, but under these grotesque circumstances where he and I were tortured by our separation, by Lars. David Eby, if there's one thing that comes out of your role as Premier of British Columbia, I'm begging you to make it that you discharge Lars and never admit another patient or another resident there. That British Columbia taxpayers should not be paying for that cult, that evil cult. So, and as far as my application for leave to appeal to the Supreme Court of Canada, I expect that I'll get an answer tomorrow. The chances are very slim they only allow, I think, 13% of applications for leave to appeal are granted, and I don't have an automatic right for leave to appeal because it's not a criminal matter. And what I'm asking the Supreme Court of Canada to do is to adopt Peter Falk's law in Canada. And that's Peter Falk was the actor in Columbo, that wonderful detective series. And he had a stroke in his 70s, and his second wife wouldn't let his biological children, visit him after he had a stroke. And Catherine Falk started the Peter Falk Foundation, and 22 American states have adopted Peter Falk's law, which is the uniform guardianship review for guardians of incapable persons. Like, we all know what happened with Britney Spears and her father's conservatorship of her, how we took advantage of her. So, but the main point of Peter Falk's law is to reform adult guardianship law so that guardians cannot use their position as guardians to isolate and confine the incapable adults against their will, which is what my sister, the evil nun from Ontario, did with Paul and I, and caused us to suffer terribly. I don't know if I'll ever recover from that. And he certainly didn't. He was dead 26 days after our appeal was dismissed by the British Columbia Court of Appeal. Anyways, so that's an update for today. Thank you, everybody, for all your help and support. I had a very quiet Canada Day, and thinking, I can't, I'm not proud that I'm a Canadian, and I'm not proud of Canada, and I don't celebrate Canada Day as long as Canada killed 20 people, paid medical doctors to kill 20 people a day, and so 20 people were killed, had a lethal dose administered to them yesterday, and that's got to stop. It's one thing to alleviate pain, but to administer lethal doses for the purpose of killing somebody is, I believe, should be unlawful. It is unlawful. It's against basic morality. So please contribute. Please pray for us. Go to your synagogue, your church, your temple, your gurdwara, your mosque, and pray for us. Pray for what I call Paul's Law in Canada, and the strength for me to carry on. Contribute to our GoFundMe account. Just click on the link in the description box for this video and copy and paste the email that I'll put in the description box for this video, and send it to the decision makers in British Columbia who have the power to change the law. so that no substitute decision maker or guardian committee is ever allowed to retaliate and hurt family members the way the evil nun hurt Paul and I. Take care, everybody. I love you, Paul.